Hello everyone, welcome to this short but powerful demo of SAP. At the end of this video, you will have understanding what SAP end users do, what SAP consultants do, and if you're thinking SAP as a career, you will surely have pretty good clarity whether you should do it or not. And also you will have understanding how the supply chain management works in SAP. So we will dive straight to the point. Okay, what is SAP? SAP is nothing but a business management software. All companies need one software to manage their sales, manage their production, to get correct proposals from system, how much to procure, how much to produce, and to keep track of profit and loss. So SAP is nothing but a business management software. We will understand this with example of a small organization which is, let's say, producing a ballpoint pen. Okay. So on screen, what you see is a typical teams in any manufacturing company: the sales team, production team, warehouse team, purchasing team, finance team. So let's say we have a customer, he has placed an order, and now our sales team has identified this requirement and they will enter this system, enter this order into the SAP. Now this order will act as a requirement in SAP, and SAP will actually signal the purchasing team to procure the required products. It will signal the production team to produce required products at a certain time. The warehouse team will ensure the purchased products are placed properly in a warehouse and they are available to production whenever it is necessary. This team will also ensure the produced products are stored in warehouse and they are shipped to customer at right time. The finance team will ensure that all the transaction happening into the system are hitting the correct accounts. So the accounting will be ensured by the finance team. So how everything is done in system, let's check it out. So typically this is icon you will see in SAP. Okay, if I double click on this one window will pop up and you will see your system name. Okay, normally you will see three systems here. One is actual production system where we will record actual sale, actual production, and whenever we change something, we will first do it in development system, then move it to quality system, and then after testing, it is moved to production system. So once enter, you will be asked to enter a ID and password. So this is how typical SAP screen looks. Okay. So as we discussed, let us consider an example of a ballpoint pen manufacturing company, and I am acting as a sales team. So I will go and enter the requirement of a ballpoint pen into the system. So this window is actually called as a command box. So whether you have to carry out any transaction in SAP, you can enter a transaction code here that will lead to that specific transaction. So right now I'm entering the transaction code VA01, which will take me to the sales order creation screen. So I'm entering the sales order right now. Okay, this is how a typical sales order looks into SAP system. Don't get confused by so much information on the screen. Once you start the training, it will eventually become very, very easy for you. At that at this time, you can just understand that this is a ballpoint pen material. The sales order quantity is 500, and this will be delivered from this plant. So this 133 is nothing but our customer, which is we have created in our system. So this is called as a master data. So whatever materials we produce, we create into the system. Whatever customers we have, we create into the system. This is called as a master data. Now I will save this sales order. Okay, very easy. The sales order has been created into a system. So now let's check how this requirement is reflected into the system. So this is a transaction code MD04 where we can see all the open documents for a material. So now this is a ballpoint pen and now we have a open order of a 500 quantity. Now on the first line system is showing that you already have 5 stock available of this material. You have a sales order of 500 and now you are running short with 495 quantity. Now I will ask SAP to plan this product. So from company, let's say now our planning manager comes into picture. He will run one transaction in SAP. This is MD02. So now if I run this transaction for this material, SAP will check what are the requirements for this material and how much it is needed to produce. Okay. So now, as you can see, if I refresh the screen, the SAP has created one plan order to cover our requirement of a sales order. So now it has created exactly 495. Now from this example, you can understand that SAP always considers the available stock and then according to the system settings, it creates the proposal. So now this is a proposal from SAP to produce 495 stock. Okay, fine. So now the ball pen, how it is produced. Now let us check the bill of material for this ball pen. So bill of material is nothing but in system we are recording that to produce one ball pen, I need one pen body. I'm keeping very simple here. So what business case we are considering here is we will purchase a pen body from outside. We will do one operation in our plant to produce this ball pen and then we will sell this ball pen. Okay, so this bill of material here we are mentioning that we need one pen body in one quantity to produce one quantity of a ball pen. Okay, so it means when I run the previous transaction, system must have done something to procure this pen body from outside. Now I will go here. Let's check what is the situation of pen body. As you can see, we can see the dependent requirement of our final product here. We need that 495 quantity. So it means we have to purchase this pen body in 495 quantity. So now this is the plan order. Let me convert this to purchase requisition. We can have system setting in SAP so that we can directly have a purchase requisition. Okay. So purchase requisition is a document which can be converted into the purchase order to make an actual purchase. So this is still in a proposal state. So when the purchasing team is actually sure that we are going to purchase this product, it will convert this purchase request into a purchase order. Okay. So again, I'm just putting this purchase requisition into this card. Now I have a purchase order creation screen ready here. So there is a lot of information on the screen, but the main point right now we will focus is this is the material getting procured in 495 quantities. This is the price of the material, $10, and it should be delivered on this date. So this is the vendor, okay, who is supplying the material to us. Now I will check this document and save. So in real world scenario, okay, let me refresh the screen and you can see the purchase order is created here. In real world scenario, one email might have been sent to actual vendor and he will start preparation of shipping this material to our plant. So let's assume that he has got this requirement and he has shipped the material to us. Now that material is ready at our doorstep. So let's go and receive it. So one person from purchasing team is holding a package that he has received. Now he wants to receive this material on the system. Okay, so now whenever receiving the product is generally referred as a goods receipt term in SAP. So we are doing goods receipt of a purchase order. and our purchase order number is ending with 282. So let's enter that number over here, 282, and I will press enter. Now system has recognized what that item is, and it is proposing the quantity which is in the purchase order. So our person will physically ensure that the correct quantity is received, and then he will check and post into the system. After that, he might be, I will not do this step here, but he will be doing a step where he will enter the vendor invoice into the system so that SAP will create a liability to make a payment to that vendor. Now, if I come to the screen, stock requirement list, if I refresh the screen, now this PO will vanish from the system as because we have processed this PO, and it will start showing up the 495 stock here. As you see, the 495 stock is here, which is ready for the next dependent requirement. Okay, so now we have a stock in system, and now we are ready to produce our ball pen. As you can see, there is a plan order ready for us to produce. This plan order, I will convert it to production order. This is how the production order looks in SAP. Okay, so if you go into the component section, it will show me how many materials in how much quantity are required to produce this product. And if I click on operations tab, it will show me the steps required to perform to produce this product. And this is a, let's say, machine on which we are producing this product. Okay, so right now we are just understanding everything at high level. So this is the start date of order, this is the end date of order, and this is how the production is processed. And now let's say I'm a production planner. I think that this order is ready to be produced, so I will release this order, and you can see the status of the order has been changed to REL. It means released. So once it is released, the production team understands that they should start the production. So right now we are skipping one more step here. So this now will send the requirement to warehouse team to send the required products from warehouse to the line. Okay, that is called as a material staging in SAP. But now assume that in our simple case, we have material available on the line, and now our production is complete. So first, production team will go in system, and they will enter the order, and they are confirming that they have used machine for 19 hours to complete this production of 500 pens. Sorry, 495 pens. Okay. So now, right now we are just entering the hours, and in somewhere in system we have defined that, let's say we need $1 to run this machine for 1 hour. So accordingly, this cost will get accumulated into the process order. Okay. So similarly, the cost of processing, the cost of a raw material accumulates into the process order. And this is how just a small introduction to the production order costing. So I have saved it. Okay, now the order is saved. So it means we have entered the hours that we have used. So if I refresh it, I still don't see the stock reflected over here. Okay, now we have posted the goods receipt of a purchase order previously. Now again we are posting goods receipt of a production order. Okay, so now it means our finished product will come into the stock here. Okay, so I entered this order. Now system is saying that 495 is your product. This is ball pen. It will come into the stock. Once I see this, check and post, what you will see is this order will vanish from system, and your 500 stock is ready to sell. But wait a minute, if you see the pen body stock, the pen body stock is still here. We have produced this our final product with a pen body, so the pen body should not be into the stock. So now we have to remove the stock from system. So it means that removing of the stock is called as a goods issue. So against the same order, we are doing the goods issue. So the bill of material which was shown to you previously, system knows that from that bill of material that 495 is required to produce this order. So now when I click here, and if I post this goods issue for this order, what will happen if I just refresh the screen? Then the dependent requirement is gone because the order is produced already, and the stock will also vanish from here. As you can see, the stock is gone. So now let's what is remaining now is to make a sale of our ball pen. Okay, so now we have sufficient stock and now we can sell this order. So now I can directly go to the order from here as well. I'm going, and let's make an availability check in the order. If I do the availability check, now system is showing the quantity is confirmed, the stock is available. So that I will save this order after availability check. Now system will allow me to create a delivery for this order. So our warehouse team, generally SAP automatically creates delivery for the orders which are ready to ship. So now for this order, I'm creating delivery manually here. Okay, so this is how a typical delivery looks in SAP. So you can see the picking tab here. The picking means the products must be stored somewhere into the warehouse, right? Now this is a signal for a team to go and pick that product and bring into the docking area. It means from where the material will be loaded onto the truck. So I will assume that the material has been picked. It has been brought to the docking area. So normally, as soon as the delivery is created, there are some prints printed in a printer, and those prints are given to the warehouse workers, and they will know that how much material they has to bring into the docking area. Okay, so this is how picking is complete. Now after that, we can do the loading of this product, and then once the truck has been shipped, the goods are shipped from the plant, we can do the goods issue here. So right now we can do the goods issue here itself for this delivery. So what does the goods issue means? That now the material is out of our plant and the stock has to be removed from the system. So goods issue is nothing but removing of that stock from a system. So as you can see, we have a customer order here. We have done the goods issue. If I refresh this page, it will remove the sales order as well as the available stock. So now the material is shipped, and of course we need a money from customer. So let's send invoice to the customer. Okay, so there will be another transaction to create invoice into the system. Okay, so we have created an invoice now. In real world scenario, SAP consultant will change the settings or maintain the settings so that it will generate a print of this invoice, or it will send an email to the customer. Okay, that is how what you will learn to set up the systems as a SAP consultant. Okay, so if I check the document flow of this delivery, it is showing me that there is a sales order, the delivery created, the picking we have done for the order. We have also posted the goods issue, and invoice is also sent to the customer. So now that gives you an idea of end-to-end process in the SAP. Okay, so this is how typically the supply chain is fully connected in SAP. So let's understand in much detail. So the sales order was nothing but a demand in SAP. So the demand can be sales order, or a sales team can manually enter the requirement also. So some simple product like a ball pen, we will not wait for a customer to send us the order, so that we can directly enter the requirement and start the production. So this all part which is acting as a requirement in SAP is called as a demand management. So once you have a demand in SAP, then you need to control the production. So you need to decide when to produce, how much to produce. So that all comes under the shop floor manufacturing control. So here the PP consultant will come into the picture, the production planning consultant. So now this will deal about your production process, and it's all about batch management. And if it's a food industry, then the SAP is really interesting. How do we create batches in SAP? How do we mark different test results for those batches? All that comes under software manufacturing. Also, we have a warehouse management here. Warehouse management will ensure that all the stocks are stored properly. Some materials have requirement, they have to be stored at a certain temperature. So uh, to making inventory available in required quantity at right point of time is a job of warehouse team. And the job of purchasing team is actually, of course, procure all the raw materials at right time so that our dispatches are not delayed. Okay, and so everything related to the procurement will be managed by the team. And quality is a touch base point for everywhere. You need to inspect the goods when they receive. You need to inspect the goods which you have produced. And just before shipping the customer also, you might need to do some quality checks. And the finances, of course, will ensure that the accounting entries are correct. The it will generate the accounts receivable so that you know how much you're expecting to receive from customer. You will know how much you need to pay to your vendors. Everything will be managed by finance team. Okay. So when you're learning SAP, you will come to know about these terms. The master data, which we saw, is nothing but data which we need to perform our transactions, like customer master, vendor master, material master. All that data has to be created in system, which is called as a master data. Transactional data is nothing but the your data, which is orders, how much orders you have shipped this month, how much production orders you have produced, how much procurement orders you have done. So this is all the transactional data. The configuration data is nothing but a creating your company into the system. So you have bought the SAP software. Now all your plants, all your companies, all your locations has to be created into the system. And each orders have order type. Okay, let's say sales orders have different order types to make a regular sales and your scrap sales or your free of sample delivery. So all these will come under order types. So and maybe you have one order type for a finished products, uh, production order type, and you might have a different production order type for your semi-finished products. You might have one purchase order type for your direct purchases, one another order type for your indirect purchases. So all this work falls under a category of SAP consultant. They understand the business, and then they also know the SAP standard way of doing the things, and then they analyze how we can fit this business into SAP, and then we will configure the system accordingly, and we will uh, train the clients accordingly. So we have uh, been into this business for long. So we have actually created the courses which are very easy to understand, and basically they are designed to get you job ready as soon as possible. So so in SAP, the good thing is that you work in any part of the world, the processes are identical thanks to standardization by SAP of the processes. But we really focus on the activities which are really big in volume in day-to-day things, and you need to have a good understanding of those foundational concepts. So our courses are really focused on to get your job ready as soon as possible. So the last part is modification development is basically sometimes you need to make changes in SAP standard things so that to fulfill specific needs of a customer. Okay, you might have to have certain checks before making goods available for sale. So these kind of things we can do here. If you are interested in buying our courses, those are really having reasonable prices. Then you can contact us via email or you can send WhatsApp to this number, and we will share you the details. Whether it be any module, just contact us and we will get in touch with you. If you like the video, uh, appreciate it. Thank you very much.